Greetings, peace, love, and light to you all. Thank you for joining me today. Some of you are familiar with my channel. Some of you are here through this video being shared. Nevertheless, let's jump into it. The reason why I'm here is because I want to alert everyone on a very serious, very serious matter. Something that has been going on in our community for a while, and I wasn't aware of it until it happened to me and my family. And that is scammers, midwife and doula scammers. And I'm just gonna tell y'all my story, give you the whole timeline, and specifically we'll call out the one in which was involved in our situation. Um, you know, it's your choice from after you hear this information whether you still deal with that person or not. But don't say I didn't tell you so. Um, don't say that others who have came out with similar stories haven't said so. So I'll jump into it. Now, 2021, my family and I birthed our second child, and we did so through a grand midwife. So the same grand midwife was to birth our child in 2022. 2023 is when we were our due date, January 13th, 2023. So in July 2022, we went to this grand midwife, who I love and adore very dearly. Was very close to our family. We went to our first appointment with her, and I believe it was 3 weeks or so after that, she transitioned. So with that said, that left her team of midwives that she had in training and those who had already completed their courses and whatnot through her and training through her whatnot. They took upon themselves to get in touch with all her clients to see, what could be done. Could they split the work as far as being midwives for their births, or just get in touch with them and see what they were going to do moving forward. So July 31st was when we met the team of midwives that were working under her. And that day we were to have our first interview, which due to the after services and stuff kind of rolling over and everyone traveling and all that stuff, the following day we met with the team, seemed like the team leader. Her name was Zaire. So we sat down, spoke with her, and honestly, the headspace I was in, I really didn't feel like going through 3 or 4 interviews. And so after her interview, my husband and I sat down. We said, okay, we'll go with her. She seems like she's knowledgeable. Seems like the $3,000 she's charging is fair. Let's move forward. However, this particular midwife was said to be leaving to go on vacation to Africa, just the following day or 2 days following. So she said that she would email us the contract. That was on August 1st that we had our interview, said, hey, we'll move forward with you. And she confirmed that she will send the contract before she leaves the country. No word from her between August 1st and August 15th. No word. So August 15th, I reached out and I said, hey, how about that contract that we're supposed to look over before our first appointment? Because our first appointment was scheduled to be that Saturday on the week of the 15th. So she finally sent it over. Remember, 2 weeks have passed. And it's already devastating and a setback when your initial midwife, who you have built a relationship with over 8 years, has transitioned to meet someone new and giving them a chance to now get to know you and your family, and then having to fill in the gap of someone who was so huge in your life. Nevertheless, we're a people who like to do things promptly, like to be prepared. We like to be able to look over what we're signing, like to be able to save up our money in order to do things, because this is not something that, hey, let's reach into our savings and pull out all this money and give to this person that we barely even know, that we haven't even had our first appointment with, right? All right, so either way, moving forward, we look over the contract and it says that $1,500, there's a $1,500 non-refundable retainer fee. So I call up some doula friends of mine to, get their feedback. Like, hey, have you ever heard of this? Like, I mean, I've never heard of this, but is this what's new on the block? And they're like, no, I mean, not as far as we know. Spoke to another midwife. She's like, never heard of such a high number. And why? So I look at the contract and it's saying, oh, if you want to secure your spot, this is what it's going to take. And therefore, if you cancel, that $1,500 is there, right? And this $1,500 is not included in the $3,000 total. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. You should have really told us this from day one, especially since you've been holding on to this contract. We really could have been looking elsewhere or deciding whether we would really go with you and save our money. Like, you can't just spring that on someone, because that $1,500 was to be due at your first appointment. Something that was never spoken, but was in the contract that she had held on to for 2 weeks. So I touched bases with her and I asked her, are you expecting this $1,500 at our first appointment? And she said, yes. And I said, with that said, we will look elsewhere, because there's no way I'm handing you that on a first appointment. Okay? So she said, well, thank you for even considering me. And I said plainly, we will just continue looking. All right. So in my journey of looking, I also heard through the grapevine that this particular midwife went on to put beside my name that we had chosen an alternative route. Now, to home birth, free birth, do an unassisted birth, anything that is outside of the institutionalized hospital system, I guess you can already consider that an alternative route. So, with me already speaking to a midwife that is supposed to help us deliver at home, how, with me declining her services, is that considered an alternative route? I do not know. But moving forward, I want y'all to know all these even small details that go into this, right? All right, so moving forward, we decided to contact the midwife that she had mentioned, the initial midwife had mentioned, who was like next in line to interview with us or whatever the case. Because these are all people that they have vetted under our grand midwife. So this next midwife, her name was birthworker, shaman, Tamika's, also known as owner of Amarillo's Blessings. So we called her. Me and my husband were both on the line because he was at work. We were on three-way. And we spoke to her. Our initial conversation was August 17th. That's when we did our first interview with her. As soon as we got on the phone, and granted, both of these ladies, they saw us in person, but Tamika's got more of a closer view and in-person kind of conversation just a little at the memorial services, because we were all at the after service and whatnot, for a good while as we fellowship and ate food and share memories of our grand midwife. So she got to see my family in action, just playing, our children. We have two daughters, that were there playing in the grass and whatnot, and me and my husband was there and just speaking with everyone. So, initially she's like, "Hey, I saw you all there. I remember you. Beautiful family. You have two girls. What are, you're looking for a boy? Are y'all looking, hoping that this next child is a boy?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure. Boy, help balance out things, but if it's a girl, we give thanks too, because, a child is a child, and whoever the creator blesses with, we give thanks." And so she's like, "Yeah, well, I feel this real strong masculine energy, right here, right now, on this line." So my initial thought is, my husband hasn't spoken yet, but he's on the line and he's very masculine, alpha male at that. I'm like, okay, you may feel his presence. And she was like, "I can hear this baby. One of my services is I'm a baby whisperer, and I can speak to the babies and whatnot. And this baby is a boy. Yeah, I want to know this. Excuse me. I feel this baby is a boy." So we're like, okay. And so we started talking, fees and services and whatnot, and what all it entails. And she tells us, Spirit is telling her to go with giving us the fee of $2,000, and that includes the deposit of $500. So, after we pay the $500, then we will have our first appointment, and then $1,500 is due for remainder, fees for the services. Okay, cool. All right, sounds good. Sounds fair. All right. So moving forward, things happen in our life financially and whatnot. So we didn't initially get to schedule that first appointment like a week or two, after that interview, as we expected. So we kept in touch. And by the time we were able to schedule, we called, and it was October 28th when we made our $500 deposit. Before then, I had spoken to her like that September and told her, "Hey, we are still interested. We're just getting that money together. There's some things that's taking place in our life right now. We just got to get in order, but we definitely want to go with you. And we don't want to go back to the drawing board of interviews, all that stuff. We want to move forward with you." So she informs me then that, "Oh, well, yeah, I thought y'all had ghosted me, because, people be doing that. They'll say they want to go with me, and next thing I know, I see them online that they had their baby, and they didn't call me back and stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I thought I was going to deliver the baby, and I wouldn't have known unless I seen it online. So, and I do have a spot open for January, so good thing you called, and, just keep in touch. The main thing is communication." So I told her, I said, "Oh, okay, basically my husband wanted to make sure all the ducks were in a row before we did any scheduling or whatnot. But since you said just keep in touch, I would keep in touch and keep open communication." And that's what I did throughout this whole process, just letting her know when we can make payment, when we cannot, just asking her when, just keep in touch. I really didn't have to call, about any symptoms or whatever is going on with me and whatnot, because pretty much this was my third child. And this pregnancy was just beautiful. No nausea. My iron levels were really, really good. That's something that I had to just regulate a little better with our second born. And just everything was really, really good. So really all I needed her for is our appointments, just come through, speak to the baby since this is your specialty, do vitals. Sure, we would love to hear the baby's heartbeat and just help us deliver the baby. So, moving forward, I have notes. So moving forward, we had given our deposit October 28th. And November 8th was our first appointment. November 8th, 2022. At that appointment, she brought a young lady who was working under her, who had also worked under the grand midwife. She was still in training. And at that time, they went ahead and Tamika spoke to the baby. And she did her work with the pendulum to see the gender of the baby. She said that the baby was a male, that the baby had been a great-great-grandfather returned on my husband's side of the family, and that he wanted the assistant that she brought that day to attend the birth, and it was something else. He was an old soul, and he was like 90 something, like 98 years old or whatnot, but his voice was like a smooth baritone or whatnot, and that he didn't sound like an old man. He sounded like he was young, like really young at heart and young in voice. But she really, really loved his voice. And she told me that several times and throughout the pregnancy, that anytime she heard his voice, she's like, oh, I just love your son's voice. So moving forward, that was our November 8th appointment. Then November 16th, she brought along a postpartum doula. And so it was her, the midwife she was to have assist, and the postpartum doula. So there were 3 people at my second appointment. And already how we operate, that was already feeling like a lot, to be honest. In the space of birth, you really don't want a lot of different energies. You really don't want a lot of people. It's very best to have less is more. Less is more. Already our family have 2 children that are very active. And even though they'll know how to quiet down during the birth or whatever the case, you never know, what's going on with them, or how I will be feeling in that day and space, or how my husband will be feeling in that day and space. So the less energies around the room, the better. And I just know, like, growing up in our family, something that we steered away from, we had seen our cousins and siblings have babies and the whole family wants to fill the hospital room, and how their labor slowed down. And that's just not the same space that we wanted to be in. If you're going to have birth at home, you want to be comfortable. That's the whole point of birthing at home. You want to be comfortable. You don't want the same stresses that can happen when you're in a hotel, when you're in a hospital, So with that said, they brought the postpartum doula along because they felt, for her to meet us and for her to tell us about her services that could benefit our family, since we already had 2 children, about to birth our third, and how she can assist with sitz baths and small meals and possibly a little house cleaning and stuff like that. So she came that day, and afterwards she said that she would send me her information and whatnot. Now this is November 16th. I'm due January 13th, or estimated due date. I'll say that. I did not receive an email from her until December 19th. And anytime in between that I spoke to Tamika, she's, oh yeah, and I'm not even asking about this, right? I'm not asking about this paperwork, but she made it her business to tell me, oh yeah, she says she'll send that over. She has her own clients and stuff. She's pretty busy, so, but she said she'll send that over to you. Okay. Honestly, I stopped looking for it. At that point, I already was like, okay, your promptness and ability to send the paperwork over in a timely manner in order to secure a client is a little too slow. Honestly. And then once I received the paperwork December 19th, I'm seeing that the fees are $300 deposit, $2,200 in order for you to secure her to be a doula for 6 weeks, and $1,500 to be a doula for 4 weeks. And my thought is, where do y'all think that people are pulling this money from? I'm already having to pay a midwife. You're late bringing this information about your services as a doula, and where do you think I'm just going to pull this money from? But sometimes I feel, I could be wrong in this, I'm going to say it though, when people come into your space, where they see your home, where they may see your vehicles and whatnot, they just feel that they can count your pockets. They just feel that, being that they may know one or two of your spaces of employment, that, oh yeah, I know that person makes so and so and so. You do not know. And you can't count the next person's pockets. And you can't hustle the next person either. Because if you say you're working through spirit, there is such thing as karma. And you do not do wrong by people that are simply doing right by you. So moving forward, I, sent her an email just declining the services. So thank you for your time. And we kept it moving. Now, there were 2 appointments that were rescheduled. And every time that there was a reschedule of an appointment, I already felt it. I already knew, like, it's like spirit already told me she's about to call you, tell you she can't make that appointment, or she got to reschedule. And it became a habit of rescheduling. Now, one of the reschedules was because a mother had given birth. So when I saw that a mother had given birth, then I knew that she would have to be, at that mother's home doing postpartum services. So I didn't sweat that, because I know she did 24-hour, 36-hour, and possibly a 48-hour follow-up postpartum work. So I knew of that particular canceling, rescheduling. But honey, the canceling, rescheduling, just after our appointment on, December 14th, there was a lot of rescheduling and canceling, to the point where it's like, what are we paying for? What are we really paying for? So December 14th, prior to that, she called me and she told me that, let's back up. On November 30th, we had to reschedule appointment to December 7th. Then that December 7th appointment was rescheduled to December 14th. We paid her again on December 8th. We sent her some funds then. And she gave me a call, and she told me that our baby sent her a message that he will be coming early, and that his parents needed to get everything in order because he was coming earlier than expected. This was December 8th. So I told her that we had received our birth kit, which was $120 that we had to buy. And I said, so we're ready. We have everything. I've been nesting. So everything's clean and in order. So, hey, we're ready. Um, at some point in time prior to that, like a month prior to that, she did give me a call too that our baby gave her the message that we are abundant and that everything that we asked for was taken care of. That one, it was a specific thing, but that we as the parents knew what that specific thing was. But whatever it was, that it was taken care of. So she was like, "Do you know what that is?" I'm like, "I don't know. It could be a number of things, but okay. I hear the message. I received the message. Okay." So that was that. And, she told me also on that call that, she was doing her rounds of calling her clients, and that a lot of times when she called them and give them the reading or message from their child, that they would say, "Oh, how did you know? I was in here praying, and now you call me and you give me that message." And that wasn't my response. That wasn't how I was feeling. I was more so like, okay, cool. I know we're abundant. I know we're prosperous. I know that all things are working out. But that's cool to hear that the baby has said that too. But kind of odd that the baby would give us a message about finances. But okay, whatever. Anyways, but I also kept saying, I believe in her gift. I believe in her vision. I okay, cool. You know, let's just move forward. All right. Anyways, so December 14th was our appointment, and she told me that she would have been coming by herself. She said that she was coming by herself, that the midwife that she was supposed to have assist her wasn't going to be assisting in my birth. That was that. I didn't ask any questions. I still wonder to this day, but I'm not gonna get into that. But that's all that was said. Okay, cool. And then she added that the babies are usually pretty selfish with her, so they like her by herself anyways. Okay. I had not forgotten about the first reading where she said that my baby said that he wanted that particular midwife to be present at the birth with her. But moving forward, y'all bear with me. This is a lot of dates. I'm a person who likes to keep dates, time, everything, a whole track record. When people lie, they forget. And honey, I like to write down what people say, what they do, when they do it, and catch them in their mess. And bottom line is, I don't have to catch you in your mess. You're going to catch yourself in your mess. But let's move on. So, December 20th, she texted and she told me that she would be available after the holidays instead, because initially we was going to have an appointment around that time or whatnot. Because we didn't celebrate Christmas, we told her, we were available any point in time around then, and that just let us know the date. So she said that she'll be available after December 30th. Then December 29th, she messaged and told us that she was on baby watch. So that there was a couple of mother that's due very soon. She would have to be at home, and that she will just check in by phone. She also then mentioned our what was due, and as far as fees, and said that it was due by the 36th week. And my 36th week had already passed. So I read the contract. I read it and I signed it. And that contract also read that the total amount is due by 36 weeks. However, payment plans are available. In our case, a payment plan had been established. We had told her, kept open communication. that we pay as we go, that we will take care of it fully, and we'll keep in touch. We'll keep in touch every step of the way and let you know if we can make that total amount, if we can make half, if we pay a little bit. And she'd always say, oh yeah, because I tell people, just give me some gas money, or just give me what you can, 25 here, 50 here, whatever, just communicate with me. And that's what we were doing. We gave her what we could when we could. And by what? Let's see. By December 14th, we had 3 appointments. And by January 2nd, we had paid her a total of, I believe it was $1,060. So, only 3 appointments. $1,060, a little over half of the total. I haven't even received half of my services due to me. And you receive half of your payment. Here's where it gets interesting. Starts to. So, January 2nd, I'm on the phone with her again because she calls and she says she was feeling a little under the weather. Her throat was a little itchy or whatever, and she had all these clients to see and whatnot, and Spirit was just telling her she just needed to sit down. She just needed to slow down and stay home, get well, and she's just checking in with everyone. So at that time, we decided to give her $400. That's what we could afford at that time. And this was payment sent through Zelle. We'll give her that, even though our appointment had been canceled. We don't even know when we're going to see her again. And our due date is January 13th. January 2nd, we pay her $400. And on that same call, I said, I wish I could give you $700 at the moment, but we got some bills to take care of. But we could do $400. And she said, oh no, that's good. Don't worry about me. I'm good. And y'all the only ones who keeping in contact anyways. Y'all the only ones that, let me know where we at as far as, what you can pay or whatnot. It's been a few people that have ghosted me. I haven't heard from them in a while. And, nobody's saying anything about when they're going to make next payment or whatever. So, no, y'all good. January 2nd, we good. All right. I'm asking her, if you need a little more, we got to take care of us first. However, we know we got to take care of you too, because you helping us bring our baby in forth, whatever. Y'all know what I'm saying. Because already I've been on here too long. But I'm trying to get to the point. All right. So, that's January 2nd. And let me see, y'all, because I write too doggone small. Okay, so January 11th. Let me see. So January 11th, my husband was home and he was about to go out to work, and she called and she said, I got a message. Y'all baby just sent me a message or whatever. So I said, okay, cool. But hold on a minute. My husband is home. I want him to hear the message too. So she said, okay, cool. So she said, and this is a Wednesday, January 11th, and our expected due date is January 13th. All right. Something in this particular call is something I had never heard before. Throughout our pregnancy, whole entire time talking to her, or even in the contract. All right? So listen closely. Hi, y'all. So, y'all baby gave me a message. And the baby said, y'all are not going to be able to make that payment. this weekend. Y'all not going to be able to make it. But I will make an exception for y'all. I'll make an exception. Okay. Thank you. What else? So she then went on to say, because usually if that payment isn't paid in full, I don't show up. First time I've ever heard that. First time I've ever heard throughout this entire pregnancy and contract that if the payment is not paid in full by the time of delivery or 40 weeks, or even when the paperwork said by 36 weeks, that the full amount need to be paid, that contract nor her had said that she will not show up for the birth. So this was new information. I said, okay, cool. All right. And she's making an exception for us. Okay, cool. Now, I thought I had to nurse my baby. So then, y'all, y'all hold on, because what I'm about to tell y'all is where everything took a turn for me as a pregnant woman going into 40 weeks. On January 11th, Wednesday, January 11th, this female calls and then says that the baby also says, Daddy, you're not going to be able to make this birth. You're not going to be able to be there. But that's okay, because Mommy won't be alone. Midwife, shaman, midwife, birth worker. She don't say midwife. She usually said birth worker. Or the Harriet Tubman of midwifing. But either way, Miss Tamika's was going to be there at the birth, so I will not be alone. So I said, well, no, that's a lie. My husband spoke first. My husband said, well, I'm not trying to miss the birth. I would love to be there. You know, I'm even staying pretty close to home right about now as I work so that I could be there. And she said, I know. I understand. And she tells us a little story about how her daddy missed her birth. And she didn't open her eyes until her daddy showed up. But yet still, you're telling us that my husband wasn't going to make the birth, which added so much more stress. Because it's like, first and foremost, I'm not a reader. I'm not a spiritual reader. However, I am a visionary. I receive visions. I received several throughout this pregnancy. And I could slap myself. Y'all, I could slap myself because the visions that were shown to me showed me that she wasn't in the space when we needed her. I'm going to just leave it at that. And I told her these visions. But I didn't say it in that way because I didn't see it in that way then and there. But it was clear. It was so clear. I'm moving forward. So my husband says, well, okay, thank you. You know, you said you'll be there. I'm not trying to miss the birth. I'm going to try my best to be there. So then I said, I need my husband there. And I'm going to tell this baby right now, I need you to wait on your father. Now, let me back it up a little bit. Prior to all of that, she had said, when we had our conversation on January 2nd, she said that she had been asking these babies because she know that now in this month it was 4 babies to be born. It was 3 that she had scheduled, but 1 had rolled over into January. So she had told these babies to at least give her 2 days in between each birth. All right? She's, telling these babies, I need y'all to wait. Give me room to move so I can get to each and every one of you. Okay, I get that. Cool. All right? So I say in this conversation on January 11th, I say to my baby, me and my husband's baby, we need you to wait, baby. We need you to wait on daddy. Whenever it is that you decide to come, we know it would be perfect timing. Y'all, behind me is all my birth affirmations and whatnot. I have not taken it down yet. And one of them says, where is that? I trust my baby to know exactly how and when to be born. I wasn't believing that our baby is choosing for his father to not be at the birth. That don't even sound right. What the hell is the purpose of that? Excuse my French, y'all. What is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of you telling me such a dang on thing when I am this close to our due date? As a spiritual reader, granted, like I said, I'm not a spiritual reader, but I know that them as spiritual readers are not supposed to reveal everything. She claimed that she knew when our child is to be born. Earlier in the pregnancy, that first reading, she told us that the baby was going to be born at night. He said he was going to be born at night. And matter of fact, when we moved forward to January 11th, and she said that the baby was that his dad would miss the birth. My husband said, well, birth must be going to be pretty fast. She said, yeah, pretty fast, really fast. And like in the afternoon. Somewhere in the afternoon. So it had changed from night to afternoon. Like I said, I keep mental note and physical notes. Because y'all know we get mommy brain. We get mommy brain, especially through pregnancy. So things get a little foggy. So you have to keep notes. But either way, keep moving forward. I said, I'm telling this baby to wait on his daddy. This female says out of her mouth next, don't you be telling that baby what to do. That baby already chose what to do. Don't be telling that baby what to do. Hold up. Rewind. In that moment, I was silent. My husband is usually one who's quick. He's quick with the tongue. Me, it take a little while for something to register. I ain't gonna lie. It take a little while for me to realize, hold up, that person took a shot at me. Yeah, it's too late for me to call back and be like, hey, hold up, you said this. Let me respond with this. Y'all, I'll be a little slow with it. I don't catch it until I hang up. I didn't catch it until I hung up. I said, hold up. She telling me I can't tell my own baby what to do, but she told my baby what to do. That don't make no dang on sense. How do you have superiority over the parents speaking to our child and telling our child how to move? That don't make no sense. You are not holier than thou. What is going on? So at that moment, y'all, I had to take a walk. I had to clear my mind because I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, this lady talking about my husband is not going to be there. Like, what is that? What am I supposed to do with that? Why you threw that in my lap? Whatever. So that was strike number 1. All right. Moving forward. January 12th. This is the following day, y'all. The following day. The following day at 8 something that night, she calls me. And she tells me that your baby gave me a message last night or today or whatnot. And your baby decided that he will wait on dad. He's going to wait on dad. Dad is going to be there. Dad will make the birth. Okay, cool. Cool beans. I'm happy. All right, I'm happy. I prayed about it. Either way, I knew things would shift in our favor. But yet still I'm not I'm not a happy camper, because you just told me that yesterday and you dropped that in my lap and I am this far pregnant. Why stress me out like that? Why stress us out like that? I'm not in this alone. My husband is on this journey with me. Why do that to us? Moving forward, January 13th, y'all, my estimated due date. Woohoo! I made it. If some of you know our story, we have an older child, went through 9 years of miscarriages and whatnot, then had our second born, and then we had our third born within less than 2 years after. So, blessed. We give thanks. Or should I say blessed? Because we are not less than. But anyways, that's etymology. We're not getting into that. But anyways, we give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks. January 13th. Estimated due date. Woohoo! Like I said, I receive a call. I just want you to know that if you go into labor this weekend, that I will not be there. I will have to possibly be virtual or something, because my insurance had lapsed on my vehicle and I did not know it. The cop got behind me, and I ain't even gonna tell y'all the details of where the cop was and all this other stuff. I'm just trying to y'all, dang it, whatever. Anyways, shorten what was said. So the cop got behind her. She didn't know what the cop was pulling her over for. Her insurance had lapsed. She was coming back from a birth. She had sped to the birth, so she, luckily no cops had pulled her over as she was speeding to the birth. But afterwards, while she was grabbing a bite to eat, she was pulled over, and luckily she wasn't sent to jail, but her vehicle was towed, and she had no vehicle to drive for the weekend. Okay. That wasn't it. I didn't know that my insurance had lapsed. See, my clients ain't been paying me in full, and they ain't been paying me on time, I ain't had the money in my account, and it had lapsed, and I didn't even know. You blaming your clients for your lack of financial responsibility for your bills? Very suspicious behavior. I'm gonna call it like it is, y'all. Y'all know what came across my mind? Very ghetto behavior. How you gonna blame your clients for you not having money to pay your insurance as a married woman? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Don't do that. Do not do that. So, I said, okay. I pray I don't go in labor this weekend, because we didn't pay you to be virtual. And what we paid you thus far, you haven't even done your job. But let me keep it moving. So then she switched up. When I called on the 15th, I called to check back in. And I told her I had a little bit of hot flashes or whatnot, but I don't think, labor starting or anything, but, it could during the week. And, I said, if you still got the car situation, my husband can pick you up and bring you to the house, which I had said this on the 13th, by the way. She didn't say anything in regards to it. She didn't respond then. She was just quiet. She just kept saying, I'm just so glad I didn't go to jail. Just so glad that they didn't do that, because they good for that. And she took an Uber home. So, and she told me that her second vehicle was also under that same insurance, so she couldn't drive her second vehicle. Okay, cool. And I said, well, my husband can pick you up and take you back home, whatever the case, that's how we could do this. Or we could pay for your Uber. She didn't respond that time. Now on the 15th, I talked to her again. And, she just sounded like she chilling. She eating on something. She real relaxed. And she like, yeah, okay, you say you got a little bit of symptoms and stuff, like, labor might be moving eventually. Okay, all right. Well, right now I'm still gonna have to be virtual because my car's still in the tow lot or whatever, and I'm getting the funds together for that. And there's clients of mine that have paid in full, and so I know they're gonna want me to be there. And I'm having to tell them they virtual too. So, you're not alone in this. Everybody gonna be virtual. And you're not the only one that offered me a ride, but I'm the type that I want to drive my own vehicle, because if I have another birth, I gotta jump in that car and I gotta go. And, hold on, that don't make sense. If my husband picks you up, he can also take you wherever you need to go next. Okay? So, what are you saying? This isn't making sense. You can't be picky when you have an obligation, when people have paid you to do a certain job. However, so the whole thing of, I want to be in my own vehicle, and I'm not feeling putting that on anybody to take me anywhere. That was just bogus to me. So at that point, I'm like, oh, she really just backpedaling out of this altogether. At this point, she really trying to moonwalk out of birthing these babies physically. Okay, cool. Or it could just be us, because you're not going to force me to pay out money that I don't have at the moment. Because she went on to say that, when clients pay in full, that the extra funds or whatever, or the funds are split with whoever she have as her backup midwife. And a person that she could send out, they gonna need at least $600 in order for them to leave their house to assist us. Why are you telling me that? Like, I got $600 to just throw at this person just to be here to help us birth, when I already gave you over $1,000 to be here, and you ain't here. You talking about being virtual. Make it make sense. Where this money raining from? I know we abundant. I know we are prosperous. Y'all, shit got my tongue tied. Where we pulling this money from? Haven't I told you our situation throughout? You think I'm trying to pull one on you? No, ma'am, I'm being honest. But you're not. You okay, Mooka? Y'all, hold on. You're not being honest. You playing around with people. And it's not cool. It's not cool, especially with you saying that you're a shaman, that you're so spiritual. Why you Why are you playing? Because you know that what goes around comes back around. Why are you doing this? I don't know. But anyways. So anyways, and in that too, she said that she felt the creator was protecting her from something. So she was just gonna sit still at home and just use this moment for what it was. Or what it is. All right. Because she said, she had been driving all this time with it lapsing, and nothing happened until then. She felt like she was being protected from something. Okay, but you have a duty to fulfill. You can't just spring this on people like that. If you had said, "I'm going to take an Uber," or granted, yeah, people giving you, they say they will pay the Uber to get you where you need to, and you still declining that. Sound like you trying to get out of doing your work. But hey, anyways, moving forward. She also added in that conversation. She said, "Who knows what this is preparing you for?" Me. Who knows what this is preparing you for? Her whole situation and whatnot. So I said, okay. The first thing came to mind, and what I said is, I said, yeah, you're right. I said, this could be the Creator preparing us and letting us know that we should not fear giving birth ourselves, that we can do it. And she said, that's right. Okay. I'm going to add this. Somewhere within these calls, I want to say it was around the January 2nd call, she had mentioned through passing that she only goes up to 42 weeks. I had not seen this in the contract. I just hear this in the conversation. And it was in regards to one of her clients that I guess was going to that milestone or benchmark or whatever. And, she was saying, yeah, because I only go up to 42 weeks. And I heard it and kind of flew by my ear. And I'm like, okay, what that mean? After 42 weeks, what, you going to the hospital? And so I was reminded of this post that she made at the end of 2022 or the beginning of 2023 that mentioned, what the year looked like for them and their business. And I think it was 10 births. 2 of those births, only 2 were home births, and the rest were hospital births. Granted, those people may have or hired her to be a doula. Who knows? And very well, majority of them may had gone past 42 weeks or had a situation where they ended up in the hospital. And the cesarean amount, there was a number there too, which was extremely high. Just for the fact of, having a doula and all that stuff. It was kind of high. I want to say it was like 3 or 4. I could be wrong. But whatever the number was, it was more than 1. And that to me is a red flag. I trusted this person, being that they seemed to, they gave off this persona that they were trained under the grand midwives, and that the grand midwives had taught them all that they can teach them. That's what she told me about one of them. And it's just sad. It's just sad that things had came to the point of where we had to go our separate ways without it being said. So this is where the rubber meets the road, because she had always talked about people ghosting her. These people didn't ghost her. She ghosts people. January 25th, on her page on her IG, it said, and granted, let me add this. I last called her January 22nd, January 21st, and 22nd. Neither times did I get an answer. And on the 22nd, I left her a voicemail that said that I just wanted her to call me back and let me know what each of the items were used for in the birth kit. Like some of the items that I didn't know what they can possibly, what it's used for, such as the soap, not the soap, but it's a lavender soap. You already have the soap to have the iodine, of course, to wash your hands with that, but what specifically the other soap was used for, and some other things in the kit. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I left her a message. She did not return my call. 21st nor 22nd. Nor did I hear, I knew, she said the vehicle was in the tow, locked up and towed away, but nobody said her telephone was off. She didn't call me from another number and tell me that. So the telephone worked. Went straight to voicemail. I left her a message. Telephone worked because she made a TikTok. Telephone worked because that TikTok was then uploaded to IG. The telephone worked because on IG, she said that she had been traveling. They travel 2 hours this direction in Atlanta and 1 hour this direction in Atlanta. And they have been driving nonstop for the last 2 days, which means the 25th and the 24th. Remember, I said I called January 21st and 22nd. They have been driving nonstop those 2 days. Now, I guess they had already got the vehicle out or had gotten out prior. I don't know. Simone didn't receive a call from my so-called birth worker, who I had paid for services. And if she had decided to then not fulfill those services, should have called me and my husband. But we didn't receive a call. So moving forward, she said in that post that they had one more baby due in January. I'm assuming that was our baby. And they had been busy driving and going to these clients. And babies, y'all better hold on and wait till Tamika's get there, or I will have to FaceTime y'all. LOL. It's not a laughing matter. When it comes to these families that some have never birthed at home before, they already have enough anxiety going against the norm. Now, in our case, everything turned out fine. We birthed successfully and beautifully. And guess what, y'all? Let me give y'all some tea. Okay, so we went to 44 weeks pregnant. Beautiful pregnancy. I did not expect to go that far past 40. Who knows? You never know. In your pregnancy, what will happen. But our baby was born healthy, strong, beautiful, at home. At home. And on top of that, y'all, y'all ain't gonna believe this. We have a baby girl. I can't make this up. Y'all, this lady said she heard our baby baritone voice. Ooh, his voice is so beautiful. I just love it. Ooh, and he is 98 years old, an old soul, and your great-great-grandfather, and all this shiznits. Y'all, we have a baby girl. And we love her. We love her. We love her. And all I can say is that was just the icing on the cake to let me know this lady is a scammer. Oh my gosh. She looked at our family and said, I know they want a boy. Let me play on that. I still wonder to this day what would be said if she had been in the room and the baby was born a girl. How is you going to walk out of that? How are you, as a shaman, going to spin that? Please let me know. I know you're going to see this video. And I just want you to know that we love you and wish you the best. But you better stop that shit. You better stop playing with the Creator and saying that you got certain gifts and saying that you're going to do this for the people and do that for the people and then change your mind on the spin just because your pockets or your bank account look a certain way. That's not cool at all. At all. Whatever you do to others will come back to you. That's all I got to say. Y'all beware of these damn scammers. Y'all beware of these spiritual vultures. Y'all beware of these people that try to prey on you because they know that y'all are beautiful, that y'all are intelligent, that y'all are walking high and mighty. You might not know your gift. You might not know who you are, but they see and they know. They know you are a powerful, 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 mighty being. And they will try to come for you. And you don't give them that benefit. Peace, y'all.